Thank you for tuning in to the Garage Cast this week. I'm your host, Arman Hocker, and I wanted to do a little. I actually thought about this last week. I never introduced myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Yeah, so this podcast is really just going to be about me and about why I started a podcast, why I'm even doing this. I only feel that it's fair. I really just kind of started. The first episode was about snow, which is a horrible topic. I should have never done that. Somebody should have told me not to do that. I need more people around me. But yeah, this episode is pretty much going to be background check. Background check. Yeah, call it my resume. Hold on, wait. These headphones are making too much noise. About that. Oh, much better. Much better. Yeah, so that's what this was going to be about. I'm in the works. Hopefully, I can get some more guests on here. My last guest, Luke Meredith from Indiana Iron. That went pretty well. I'm glad I could get him on. So I'm still trying to work on some more guests because, let's be honest, it's better when two people are talking. So let's kick this one off. Why did I start a podcast? Well, to be honest with you, I've had a YouTube channel for about 2 years now, and it's pretty. It does okay. I mean, I'm not really trying to get any money or fame from it. I'm really just trying to put out information. It's really boiled down to a vlog, pretty much. I don't lift that much anymore on that thing. I kind of just talk about, where my weight is, what I'm trying to do, and how I keep getting off the struggle bus there. Keep falling off, but I really want with that, and also with this, but with the YouTube channel, I was trying to show people, or I am trying to show people, how you can manage weight training, or if you're like me, maintain your diet, essentially while you have a family and a life. Like I've said before, I'm a regular guy. I mean, I have a job, I have a 9 to 5, plus in the extracurriculars that I do, vacations, the podcast, YouTube pages, just a regular person trying to fit all this thing in there, fit all these things in a life in a time where physical fitness is probably it's not an all-time high. It's been at a high for a while now. But it's at a point where people are just so much more aware of it, so much more aware of health and fitness, and, just it's out there. And being that I got married at 34. I got married pretty late in my life. I don't say late. I got married pretty late, so I had to do a lot of adjusting of even daily routines. I mean, there was a time where on my days off, of course, I didn't not do anything. I just did what I wanted. But now days off are occupied with family. So that not doing anything consisted of getting up, going to the gym, coming home, and just hanging out. So that's what that whole YouTube channel was about, or is about. I keep saying was. That's what the whole channel is about, is just trying to show people that you can do it. That's why I put the garage gym video on there, just to show people that you don't necessarily need this huge elaborate thing. You don't need a lot of equipment. You just need some of the bare essentials. Pull-up bars if you can get them. Olympic bars. Maybe 200 pounds of weights, or bumper plates or something like that. I have a few kettlebells in there, but just a variety of things if you want to try to maintain, or even if you're trying to start. The downfalls of that I see for me is without that good peer pressure of being in a commercial gym, or even if people came here and worked out, I lose the drive to want to lift more, because I can go lift right now. I can go deadlift and still pull 315 like it's nothing. So in my mind, I say, oh well, I still have it. But in reality, 315 is not It's not a trash number for deadlifts, but at the same time, you can go to many commercial gyms and just see people pulling it anyway. So that's where I see there's a fork in the road where I should definitely just change my environment, change it up. It's just no different than your daily routine or your weight training program. Yes, sometimes you have to change things to really get them going, to challenge them again. There's nothing wrong with peer pressure, particularly peer pressure that makes you better. Peer pressure is usually associated with something negative. Your friends made you smoke your first cigarette or whatever it is, skip your first day of school. But when there's another guy in there spotting you or whatever it is, or you see somebody, smaller than you lifting more than you, then you can kind of take that as your internal drive. Aside from if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to build muscle, whatever your angle is. Excuse me. So that brings me back. That brings me all the way to the podcast where I said, well, if I'm doing so many vlogs, it's essentially on the YouTube channel, I should just start a podcast. But the podcast can be more geared towards fitness. I really don't like to box that up, but it can be geared towards fitness, but then have the freedom to talk about anything without people being disappointed. So if I upload a YouTube video, it'll say something about what I'm talking about. It'll say, what's last video? 30-pound cut or something I did, right? So that's primarily what that video is going to be about. It's primarily what that video can be about, because when you look at that, when you read that title, you expect information about that, how I'm going about it, what's my status, that kind of thing. But with a podcast, just like I had Luke on, if I just title it sponsorships, then a podcast can kind of go this way or that way, because you're really just recording a conversation. Also, you don't necessarily have to stream a podcast. You can download it or start streaming it from iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever your host website is. But with a podcast, the conversation can go into many different directions. So I felt like doing a podcast was a little bit more suited for what I'm doing right now. And like that, the beauty of what I like about a podcast is I can have a variety of topics, as long as the warning on the title is that if my next episode is muscle cars, then you already know you either want to listen to it or you don't, no matter what you're listening to this for. Now, if this were a scientific podcast or something about aliens, or a cooking show podcast where I talk about just the different culinary arts or the variety in that, and I did a muscle car episode, I think it would be so far out of my element, not out of my element. That wouldn't be my demographic. So it would have to be some sort of bonus thing that I cook and I like muscle cars. So when it came to doing a podcast, I really felt like, it'll be more of what I think suits me for right now. I don't want to neglect my YouTube channel. That's what started it all. It was all a dream, but that's what started it all, and I need to get back on it because I'm definitely falling off. It's rough. I don't say it's rough. Everybody thinks people have different opinions about what's difficult. I feel like staying within a certain weight is difficult only because, I was younger before, didn't have to think about it before, but now I actually have to work at it. Now it becomes a goal that I have to hit. It has to be a mark that I have to hit. Like this morning I worked out, but I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it as much as I used to. Maybe because I wasn't lifting as much. Maybe because it wasn't as intense. I stopped taking pre-workout. Maybe it was because of that. I'm not getting that creatine, that pump. Who knows? But a lot of it for me right now has to do with time. So if I work out in the morning, I'm on a timeline because I have to leave to get to work on time. And I look at the other side and go, well, it's more difficult to work out after work because I have to get home, help out with the house, get the kids to sleep, and then I can have my time. And sometimes my time isn't until 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night, depending on just what is scheduled for that day, and then anything that pops up. So I definitely have to stop saying so. I say so a lot. Um, that's the difficult part for me, but it's all. I'm trying to be fluid with it and figure things out. Get up earlier, stay up later, whichever one it is. Um, but just try to use this as an avenue to get more people to really move forward. A friend of mine called me up. This was every week, so this was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. He called me up as soon as he saw that I had a podcast, and he was immediately interested. Asking basically how I did it, and basically just details about, is it difficult to do, what equipment do you have, and really try to explain to him that it's really up to you. You can record a podcast on a cell phone nowadays and upload it to whatever, and boom, there it is. Artwork is ridiculously cheap. You can do it yourself. You can outsource it. It's out there. It doesn't even have to be you. It can be, whatever, just a t-shirt pattern, whatever it is. So yeah, just doing that. That's what I mean. Doing a podcast can open other people's eyes, because he was very interested in it. He has a close group of friends that have very interesting topics, and he was thinking about trying to see if I would think if they're game to do it. And knowing him, he me and him used to talk deep conversations, and not intellectually deep, but just very, I guess, very adult conversation. This was when I was already in my 30s, I think, but very deep conversations about just kind of life, but not necessarily breaking a lot of things down into multiple levels. But I enjoyed those it was those conversations that you go, man, that guy used to make me think, make me just challenge the it wasn't necessarily a nonsense discussion. Now at times, yes, we did have fun and joke and whatever, but sometimes you just get that vibe and you just start talking about stuff. So I know for certainly that now, this is 10 years ago now, certainly if he's grown as a person, I don't doubt that these conversations that he's having with his friends now, man, no, I want to hear what these guys are talking about, just because I know him and I know what where he can go. He's been through he hasn't been through a few things, like bad things in his life, but he's lived a life that's been he's been exposed to many things. So I can only imagine. But yeah, that's the reason I like doing the podcast. That's why I feel like this can be a new avenue to open people's eyes and get people to listen a certain way. And I know, just bear with me. I'm still trying to feel this thing out about where I want to go with it and what format I want to do. But I think I'm on the right road. Like I've said before, I've had some help from a few people, had some influences from a few people. So I'm really trying to see if I can keep this thing going. I like it. It's a lot easier than trying to put together. It's a lot easier to try to put together a visually appealing video for YouTube. Even if I started another YouTube channel, it would be difficult to try to keep people's attention if they're gonna watch it. If it's like me, I'll turn on a YouTube video and just listen to it. If they're narrated, it's a documentary or whatever it is, and I'll just listen to it. But for the sake of it being a video, yeah, it's a lot easier. Just do a podcast. so you can get the word out and really just share your thoughts about what you're doing, what's going on with you. So in a nutshell, that's really what drove me to put out a podcast. I try to do it weekly also to kind of keep up with times and current events. And I'm not trying to be a TMZ style podcast. I think because TMZ exists now, TMZ type podcasts or TV shows, they're kind of cliche. Because years ago there was Inside Edition, which was TMZ esque, but it wasn't as raw behind the scenes. But every now and then, I mean, you heard me talk about just eating the weather, McGregor, Diaz, what's the other guy? Ferguson, what's that guy's name? Whatever it is, Ken Shamrock, and so I talk about some of that stuff, but I try not to go use a lot of topical things, only because just like right now, those fights and those events were weeks and months ago, so they're irrelevant unless I'm talking to a meteorologist about why it's snowing so late in the year. But other than that, yeah, they're okay topics, but they don't have longevity. So, question number 2, and these are questions I already know the answers to, but I want to ask them so then you get the answers to them. And if you have any questions, please contact me. I'll bring that I'll put that information out at the end if you want to contact me. Question: why do I train? Well, I started weight training around, I was introduced to weight training about 12 years ago. Of course, it wasn't bodybuilding style. It wasn't bodybuilding. It was the very first exercise I did officially with sets and reps. Knowing how much weight it is. First exercise was deadlifts. And I think that's why even to this day I kind of have a thing for deadlifts. I've always been able to confidently pull weight. Of course, if I don't train, my limit, the poundage, it stops. I think the last time I went heavy was a couple years ago at Indiana Iron, and I think I got stopped at 365. But even back then, I wasn't training consistently. But yeah, the only reason I really trained was to pass the time, and then eventually passing the time, weight training, 4 or 5 days a week, whatever it was, with whatever program. I used to do, 1 day on, 1 day off, 3 days in a row. Now I do like nowadays I like the 6 and 1. That's a pretty solid routine. Let you work muscle groups twice a week, and different variations, or the same. It just depends. So that was really it. The reason why I like to train, just passing the time, and before you know it, you start to develop some muscle. Depending on what age you start, that can help burn up some fat. The muscle development comes. Shirts start fitting differently. You start feeling a little more confident. You start getting stronger. Just really changes. I guess technically, it physically changes you. You're a different type of human. So I've gotten to that point too, where I worked at it so long, not necessarily knowing what I was doing. I got to a point where I said, "Oh, I like this. This is nice." I like it. It gives you a goal, and if you're anything like me, well, I didn't play any sports as a kid. I didn't have I was the youngest in the family, so I didn't have a little brother to kind of keep at bay. My big brother, my older brother, he was so much older that he was out of my range of competition. So when I started to weight train, I really started to, like I said earlier, that positive peer pressure, that brotherhood kind of thing in the gym, the love-hate thing you have for somebody that lifts more than you. You're asking, what exercise is he doing? What accessory work is he doing? Or is he just one of those strong people? I started to work. I'm sorry. Yeah, I started to train, and then before you know it, it was just a thing that I did all the time. Not all the time, but for a couple of years at a time, and then I would kind of fall off, maybe a month or two, and I'd be right back in it. A lot of it had to do with just kind of getting burned out, not having a workout partner, moving. I mean, there's all these things that kind of played into those into the fact that I wasn't consistent. But I've been lifting for probably about 12 years. Um, and then I got in. Oh, there she is. In 2013, that's when I got injured. I wrecked a four wheeler. Came up short on the tabletop. Let's do not ever come up short on a tabletop jump on a dirt bike or a four wheeler. Uh, hold on, let me get this. Hold on. What's wrong? Come on. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I came up short on the tabletop and ended up breaking my neck. Come here. Come on. Oh. Special guest, the young one. Yeah, I ended up coming up short on the tabletop, breaking my neck, breaking my back. Here you go. Thank you. I ended up coming up short on the tabletop, breaking my neck, breaking my back, and I was out for 2.5. I was in a C collar and some sort of body cast for about 2.5 months, and then finally the doctor said, you're good. Uh, you can start walking now. So after that, thank you. So after that time, it's two and that probably. Hey, no, don't touch that. Probably about 3 months total. Yeah, about 3 months total. I actually started, just walking and trying different things. Try doing a push up. It's way too much stress on my back, and so I ended up really out of it for about 4 months, 4 months, and that's what ended up happening. It's like a lot of stories, that I got injured, couldn't exercise. All right, couldn't exercise. Kept eating like I was, exercising. Next thing you know, I was, I wasn't too bad. I think back then I got up to about 350, about 250 pounds. And at that time, 3 years ago now, 250 pounds was pretty big for me. I used to walk around at about 230, about 230 was pretty normal for me. So what ended up happening was I had to figure out a way to basically get back on my feet and start lifting again and weight training just to get the weight off because I had no other way. I'm not a dietitian. Can't do that. I'm not a dietitian. I don't, now I know, but I didn't know before how to eat. So I was just eating everything, putting on weight. So lo and behold, here comes my great scheme. I said, well, I'll start a YouTube channel to kind of hold me to weight training, and it worked for a little bit. But I still think it all comes down to how I got there. Like, what got me to the show? What got me to the dance? What got me to the dance was going to a gym, logging, write my name down or swiping my card or whatever it is, and going in and lifting. That's what really got me to where I was. That's what got me to where I was. So looking at it now, I go, that's what I should have done in the first place. So, yep, you got it. So that's where I am now. Sitting around. Thank you. So that's where I am now, trying to get trying to get back to where I was. What, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's a little tough, but thank you. That's why I train. It's just my out. It's my stress relief. That's the one thing that I at least believe that I can have total control over, and I can go as far as I want to with it as long as I have the time. And now I have to make the time, which makes it just a little bit more difficult. It's just another challenge. Thank you. Yeah, it's just another challenge, but it's not impossible. People do it all the time. Yeah, people do it all the time, so I know it's there, and I'll get a little bit more time here soon to kind of figure out what I need to do. Thank you. So there's that so again. I can't do the so. So I'm not distracted. Not at all. Yeah, so gosh darn it, there's that so. So that's why I train. Just it's a little bit of a stress relief. It's a little bit of an out for me to kind of just be able to weight train and get away from everything. Also, like I said before, it can get you to such a great place, and it educates you about your body. Even now, I know I don't even move the same way as I could before when I had more muscle on me. I was more flexible, more just limber. I could do a lot more. Fewer things hurt when I train more. Because now even my neck is stiff, which makes no sense to me. So I know all of it affects. It all affects. It's what am I trying to say? Me not weight training definitely affects how I feel emotionally, man. Emotionally, and also um, physically, because I literally it almost hurts to walk upstairs. I go, this is yeah, I'm getting older, but there's no reason for me to feel like that. Somehow I know deep down that I have to start lifting again. I'm not the type of person to get upset about it, and go into a depression, but it's rough. It's rough. I still feel just as guilty when I don't train on a certain day, particularly when it's something like, everybody likes chest day, right? But it's particularly when it's something I look forward to, and it's already 10 o'clock. I have to get up at 3 or 4 to get to work on time. So it's that question: should I put in a crap workout and just I don't know, do some push-ups when I get to work or something, or should I stay up and then not get the sleep and the rest and recovery time that I need? I don't know, but that's what I have to fight with every day now, just because things have changed. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that pretty much sums up why I train. I mean, it's the same thing as anybody else. You do it because you enjoy it. Once you stop enjoying it, you should stop doing it. I'm still trying to figure out a way to get back in it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see the next video on my YouTube channel. What that is. Should be a deadlift video. Um, what else? Oh, what do you guys want to know? Nobody knows because nobody has my Twitter account. But like I said before earlier, if you want to get in contact with me, you want to ask questions, I can be reached at what should we do? Should we do Twitter. Twitter. Yeah, I can be reached at on Twitter at Real Arman Hawk. Real Arman Hawk on Twitter, and on Instagram you can post up Arman underscore HAWK. Check that out. Also, if you want to go to my YouTube channel, same thing, Arman Hawk on YouTube, and you can drop a message in the what is it, discussion portion or whatever. If you have questions, you want me to answer. If you want me to, thank you. You want me to stop rambling about stuff? Just let me know. I will oblige. Um. Also, if you want to, if you have any suggestions on topics, or maybe if you're in the Maryland area, maybe we can do a sit down, do a podcast, do a video. Yeah, why not? Just let me know, and I will certainly respond promptly, because I have nothing else to do. Well, I should be weight training, right? But yeah, I have nothing else to do, so let me know what's going on. With that, I think I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Just a quick episode this week. Hopefully soon here I'll get big Chad done from well, where is he from? Yeah, I would say it, but I don't want to get it wrong. Hopefully I can get Chad done on the podcast. That'll be pretty good. He's an old friend. I met him. When did I meet that boy, man? In 2009, I think I met him. So yeah, hopefully we can get him on there. He's a rotund power lifter, if you will. You can check him out. He's on the Instagram at Big Fun Done. If you want to look at his, let's see his lifts. He's pretty nice. He's a squatter. Wait, it didn't come off right. Yeah, he doesn't mess around. I like his will. Yeah, Big Fun Done. BIGGFUNNDUNN on Instagram. So that's a wrap. I'll see you guys next week, or I'll talk to you guys next week. All right. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Say it. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. I got to go. Thanks for listening.